So just yesterday, we sat down and talked about Oklahoma's running back room and why, if you're an Oklahoma Sooner fan, you need to be excited about the talent in the room. And we didn't even get to talk about their five-star signee from last year's class, Taylor Tatum, because he hasn't arrived on campus yet. But fast forward, not even 24 hours later, here we are talking about a huge win that the Oklahoma Sooners just got on the recruiting trail for four-star running back out of Atascocita, Texas, Tory Blaylock. And today, we need to break this down. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited that Blaylock commits to the Sooners? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this, and as always, who is Tory Blaylock? Well, per the 24/7 Sports Composite, Tory Blaylock comes in as the number 219 player in the nation, the number 17 running back, and one of the top players in the state of Texas, and he stands 5'11", 190 pounds. And when you turn on the film, there's a lot to love about his game. One of the things that instantly stood out to me is the speed he possesses, and it makes sense. This is someone who is just a part of that 4x100 relay team at Atascocita that set the world on fire with their time. I mean, these guys have got next level speed, and when you turn on the film, it shows. It certainly translates to football game speed. And that right there is already a compelling factor. It's a separating factor that will allow him to see the field early because he has something that offenses can utilize to hurt opposing defenses. But that's just where we begin whenever we're talking about Tory Blaylock. The other thing I saw in his film that I really like is his ability to be used as a receiving threat. And if you've been around my channel at all, you'll know that's not a new take from me. As I watch these running backs come out, the guys that I see get active in the receiving game, they really excite me because they allow your offense to flourish completely. They allow you to do so many things in that offensive set. Basically, think if you're a linebacker. All of a sudden, you look at the personnel that's in, you look at the running back that the opposing offense has, and in your mind, you're thinking, okay, they could run it up the middle, they could run it to the outside, or he could haul off on a wheel route and hurt us over top. That's what I mean. It gives defenses something to account for that otherwise they wouldn't have had to. And whenever you have that complete skill set, I think that's a very compelling factor. Now, what does this mean for Oklahoma's recruiting class? Because as we currently sit, they were already a top 10 class in the nation in the class of 2025. And good news, this puts OU at number 5 in the nation with 10 commits and a really great place to start off April in. Oklahoma recruiting is always one that we have got to watch. Brent Venables came into the Sooners and really hit the ground running on the trail, both in terms of traditional recruiting and in terms of transfer portal acquisitions. And when you're moving from the Big 12 to the SEC, recruiting is going to be at the forefront. Because one of the things we've discussed over on my channel all the time, you might be the number 10 or 11 recruiting class in the nation. Luckily, under Brent Venables, Oklahoma hasn't been outside the top 10. But just in principle, let's pretend you're not Oklahoma. Let's pretend it's some other school in the SEC. You could be the number 12 recruiting class in the nation, and you think to yourself, hey, that's a solid class. We're a top 15 class. A lot of guys that can come in and be difference makers. You might be the 5th or 6th best recruiting class in the SEC. And if you're going to be pushing for SEC titles, if you're going to be pushing for winning this league, you need to try and maintain top 3, top 4 recruiting classes in the SEC. But there are a lot of schools that recruit at an elite level. Oklahoma is certainly one of them. It's part of the reason why whenever Texas and Oklahoma came to the SEC, I've been pounding the desk saying they made the right decision. These schools recruit like SEC schools. The attitude the fan base has towards the team mirror the SEC fandom. I think it's a great move for the SEC. I think it's a great move for Oklahoma and Texas, and I can't wait to see how they continue recruiting, especially Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is sitting really pretty with nothing but time and opportunity ahead of them. And one thing we know, Brent Venables and this staff, they are fantastic at cultivating positive relationships. But I can't wait to hear from all of you. This is a huge win for the Oklahoma Sooners, and their running back room, which is already extremely talented, gets even deeper because when Tory Blaylock steps on campus, he could be a difference maker, and I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See you.